Over the last few months, we have sadly lost two industry stalwarts, Mr. Shankar Sen and Mr. Arun Kumar R. Mehta. Here's a special tribute dedicated to their souls. Mr. Arun Kumar Mehta, fondly known as Arun Bhai, was a visionary, a mentor, a problem solver, a pioneer and a leader. He was not only founder of Rosy Blue, one of the leading diamond companies it is today, but with his vision and business acumen, he was able to seize opportunities and forge new paths. He always prioritized high integrity and business ethics, helping the industry gain a favorable and trustworthy reputation. He was our valued partner and will fondly be remembered. Mr. Shankar Sen was a true visionary in the industry. Under his leadership, Senco became the leading jewelry house it is today and a name to reckon with across the country. He was a wonderful person whose goodwill, humility and trust made him one of the most respected figures in the jewelry fraternity. As our esteemed partner, Mr. Sen believed in our purpose and always supported our business. It was only his faith in Forevermark that took the brand to the east in all its glory. His demise is a huge loss to us and to the industry. We will truly miss him. Let us take a pause for these departed souls.
Willing to go back, energized to take on a new world.
Let's work together better, faster in order to deliver a burning.
To try new ideas, to learn from each other.
Be proud of all the good that diamonds do. You know, we have so much to be proud of. I didn't have time to talk all about the amazing things this industry has done during this crisis in support of local communities and more. Ours is an industry that can emerge stronger from this crisis.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again welcome to the Forevermark Forum 2020. Safety is our priority and we urge you all to stay home, be positive, relax, and enjoy the invigorating sessions of the Forevermark Virtual Forum. Over the next few days, while you are meeting us through your screen, do keep hydrated with a bottle of water close to you. Take short breaks between meetings and get some movement through the day. Stay safe, stay strong, and let the diamonds sparkle. A few things to bear in mind before we begin. You can watch the keynote in full screen by clicking on the expand icon. Anytime during the keynote, if you have any queries, minimize the full screen and drop in your questions by clicking the Q&A icon. Our speakers will answer your queries at the end of the keynote. During the keynote, our speaker will introduce a few polling questions. Once again, minimize the screen and answer the poll questions by clicking on the poll icon. You can resume watching the keynote once again by clicking on the expand icon. To access subtitles for the keynote, kindly click on the CC icon and switch to the language you're most comfortable with. The languages available are Tamil, Bengali, Gujarati, and Hindi. Once the keynote begins, you will not be able to interact or access the other segments of the forum. Do wait for the keynote to finish to access all other segments and interact with one another and the zone members. With this, we wrap up all the hygiene announcements. So without further ado, let's begin our first ever virtual edition of Forevermark Forum 2020 with a special address by our Managing Director for De Beers India, Sachin Jain.
Distinguished guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride that I welcome each and every member of this August gathering to the 9th Annual Forevermark Forum, most interestingly, for the first time ever in a completely digital and a virtual world. I thank all of you to grace this platform. We all at De Beers highly value your presence, and your commitment means a lot to us. And whilst you pledge to be on this virtual platform, I encourage all of you to absorb as much from this platform. This will be the new way customers will look at your brands, your retail, and this is what they will expect into the future from us. Please experience every aspect of this platform. This is a sort of a kickoff of a completely new world that all of us will get future ready for. In June, amidst the challenging times, while we were deciding how to go around hosting our physical forum, do it or don't do it, we were convinced in our minds that this is the most important time that the industry needs to get together, collaborate, inspire, and unveil the future, one which is widely unknown, but has a big possibility. I'm certain this experience will be thoroughly stimulating, enriching, and fun-filled. Look at the merits of technology. We have over 5,000 participants already logged in from all over the globe. I warmly welcome our industry leaders from all over India who have logged in, our esteemed partners from Middle East, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan. I also extend this courtesy to our senior colleagues and management team who have logged in from United Kingdom, Italy, China, Botswana, Dubai, and Singapore. Each of us has had our life completely change in some way or the other in the last 4 months. This pandemic has impacted us in a much bigger way than, say, the Mahabharata or the World War ever did, because today we are fighting an invisible enemy. None of us ever thought we could be going through something as remotely similar to this, and yet here we all are, all united through a strange cosmic cord because we're all in this together. Yet, if you look around this chaos surrounding us, you will find a quiet method at work, a churn that nature has been following since time immemorial, of regeneration and change and the hope of a better tomorrow. To be a diamond marketeer, you have to be a part psychologist and a part marketeer, as diamonds are symbolic and have a deep meaning to the consumers. COVID situation is unique. We were all locked down with our immediate family. It's almost like living a life of an astronaut who explores the world beyond by floating in a tin can with only a handful of crew and the use of technology to communicate with each other. Seems a lot like the scenario we all were in excluded from the rest of the world and connected only through technology and an hour-by-hour schedule set every day. There isn't one person who has not gotten the impact and has been more clear on what really matters, what things matter, but most importantly, what are the relationships that truly matter. Today is also a special day for me personally. I joined De Beers and this industry on the 19th of August 2010. I complete 10 years today. I have so much to thank for to the Almighty and so many people to thank for their constant support and guidance. My heart swells with pride to be a part of this glorious industry. How in these trying times we all have done our best. I'm proud to be a part of De Beers. Here we did our bit in our communities, our producer countries, and not just financial contributions, but whichever way help could be provided. Make a difference on the abuse happening with women in these lockdown situations. Every part of the business did great. I feel proud to be a part of this diamond industry, how the industry came forward, the work that all our retailers did, the work that was done by GJEPC, GJC, GJNRC, BDB, just to name a few of what the people have done. As an industry, we salute to the healthcare workers who have fought this pandemic from the front line. There is also another reason I feel proud and grateful, and this is the social reward I get to be part of this industry and to be a part of De Beers. When I share in a social group that I'm from the diamond business, there is always a bit of smile, some envy, often the word wow, often how lucky your wife is. Whether or not she agrees is a completely different aspect. And I am sure many of you share the same feeling. But let's reflect upon why that happens. You know, it happens because of what diamonds do. They hold meaning. Diamonds hold love. Diamonds hold emotion and value. And we as diamond people have been lucky to represent these miraculous gifts of Mother Nature. I urge all of us have to feel joyful and proud of what we enable. You know, we enable that smile. We enable that heart-touching feeling. And through you, right now at your store, someone is experiencing one of the most memorable occasions of their lifetime. This draws me to the theme of this year's forum, which is Meaningful Tomorrows. What does this mean? What do these two words hold within themselves? The world around us is changing, giving us all a chance to look at a present and truly take stock of the future we want to shape. A future based on foundations of hope, strength, and resilience. A future where every action we take today lends meaning to our tomorrows to make a little more beauty in the world. For De Beers, this time has thrust into our hands the immense responsibility of helping our consumers express the treasure and sacred emotions of love, gratefulness, friendship, and thankfulness that they've experienced through a crisis of this nature. From where I see it, my friends, the world is only going to get better from here on. Our today is setting the foundation of a very deep and meaningful tomorrow for each one of us present here. Over the years, the Forevermark Forum has been an integral part of this conversation, setting the standards for the diamond industry and giving its leaders and stakeholders an opportunity to shape the future that sparks more meaningful tomorrows for the generations to follow. Over the years, we've talked about the strategic direction of our industry. We've talked about technology, the aspects of being nimble, short to mid-term planning. You know what? Direction hasn't changed. COVID has done nothing than to accelerate our strategy and the things we had already wanted to do. This crisis, my friends, is a test of our ingenuity, our capacity to shake rigid ways of thinking. The future is still ours to make. Hira hai sada ke liye, a diamond is forever, is not just a tagline for us at De Beers. It holds the fundamental truth that diamonds have been around forever and ever. And this timelessness represents long-term relationships. And ironically, in this era of disruption and ambiguity, the desire to express love is higher than ever. And the fundamental demand will only grow. A lot of other elements will change. And we need to collectively envision a different mode of execution. We have to have the faith in our category. Whilst shaping a more meaningful tomorrow, we all at De Beers and Forevermark have never been so confident and certain about the future. And most interestingly, we all collectively have the opportunity to shape it around technology, ethics, provenance, but most importantly, the excitement that diamond brings to our lives. Forevermark and De Beers, my friends, are catalysts to your business growth. And today, we are focused to make a more meaningful tomorrow along with you. Our key objective is only to grow the diamond business and shape this new reality. Let's deep dive into an action-packed last year and what all we have achieved together. big round of applause to all that we've achieved together. Mr. Bruce Cleaver is the CEO of the De Beers Group and is a board director. Under Bruce's leadership, De Beers Group has reshaped its global mining portfolio, deepened its partnership with diamond communities and countries, harnessed disruptive technology to stay ahead of consumers' evolving expectations, and has been a galvanizing force for advancing women and girls in business and society. It is my pleasure to have Bruce on our platform for his welcome address.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our 9th annual, but first ever virtual, Forevermark Forum. I'm sure you've all attended a variety of webinars and online meetings in recent months, but with the virtual forum, we aim to bring you an online event like no other. Over the next few days, we will seek to recreate all the key experiences of being at a leading global event, but from your own digital interface. There will be booths for different businesses. There will be leading keynote speakers. There will be live Q&As and the ability to interact with all parts of the Forevermark network. But on top of that, we will also bring you content that goes beyond which you would have experienced at face-to-face events. We will introduce new ways to immerse you in the world of Forevermark, from augmented reality presentations with a virtual mine to a live virtual knowledge series. Although this new approach to engaging with you may have been born of necessity, given the external content, it's important to recognize that it will also be of great benefit to all of us as we look to the future and to the meaningful tomorrows that are the theme of our event. Now, it's becoming an increasingly pressing requirement for diamond businesses to be more effective at conducting activity online, as the trend for more digital engagement in the sector was already growing in recent years and has certainly been accelerated by COVID-19. Of course, the pandemic means that this has been a year like no other, and it has brought a range of challenges we have never seen before. But it has also meant that we have all been brought together in a way that was never previously possible. This has been a one-off moment of global shared experience, and not only does this present a singular opportunity to speak to consumers on a topic that every individual is familiar with, but it also ensures that diamonds have a uniquely meaningful role to play as they can help re-establish the connections that people are pining for. We therefore have a great opportunity for shaping meaningful tomorrows for Forevermark consumers. This will be true in the short term as people come out of lockdown and want to reconnect and show their feelings for the people who are the most important in their lives. But it will also be true for the medium and longer term as the sector remains alive with opportunity, from the supply and demand outlook to the introduction of new retail approaches, a more connected and integrated supply chain, and an industry with a clearer and better understood social purpose. And Forevermark is well placed to capitalize within this world. Our message of positive impact is well established. We have made great strides in developing a fit-for-purpose retail model, and we have a strong and growing network. This has fueled Forevermark's impressive growth in India in recent years, with the business going from strength to strength. And the key to this has been our ability to pull together and work towards a common goal. In the modern world, with so much uncertainty and such a rapid pace of change, this is more important than ever before. So, as I've said before, now is the time for us to ensure we work in concert with each other to make sure not only that we navigate through turbulent waters, but also capture opportunities as they emerge. With the key selling season fast approaching and the prospects for improved consumer demand after lockdown as people seek out things that provide them with optimism and connection, diamonds can play a uniquely meaningful role. However, to benefit from this, we will need to collaborate and ensure that our supply chains are open and unencumbered. We need to be able to move quickly to ensure that diamonds can travel through the pipeline in time to meet demand. And we need to align behind an approach of ensuring that diamonds are at the forefront of people's minds as they start to think about where to spend their precious disposable income. So, Over the next 3 days, we have a lot to think about, because over the next few years, we have a lot to prepare for. We stand at a vital time in the history of the diamond industry, where change is greater than ever before, but opportunity is also alive like never before. If we act now and seize the potential that lies ahead of us, we can spark a new age of diamonds in India, with Forevermark at its core. With this great nation's twin assets of leadership in cutting and polishing, allied to a large and growing consumer market for diamonds, the potential is limitless, and it's up to us to seize it. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for us to create meaningful tomorrows for our consumers, our communities, and for our businesses. So without further ado, let's get the Forevermark Forum started. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce, for your insights and your warm welcome. Mr. Stephen Lucier is the Forevermark Chairman and the Executive Vice President for Consumer and Brands, and a member of the Executive Committee. He focuses on shaping the group's strategy at the consumer level, as well as oversees the strategic role Forevermark plays within the group's brand portfolio. He's also the chairman of the Natural Diamond Council. In my journey of the last 10 years, Stephen has been my biggest support and guide. And it is with delight and pleasure I welcome Stephen on our platform.
Thank you so much, Sachin. And it's wonderful to be with you all today in this new virtual way. You know, I think it was Winston Churchill that said, "A pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity, and an optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty." And in organizing this virtual Forevermark Forum today, the team has really, I think, followed the latter optimist camp. And it's a great example of creative thinking, and to be honest, the sort of thinking we all need to engage in as we seek to get our businesses going again in this rather unique COVID world. Of course, we all have to adapt now to what looks like is going to be the new normal for some time to come. And we've got to get on now with taking responsibility in this environment for, as I say, getting our businesses going again, looking for the opportunities and finding new ways of engaging with our consumers to make sure that we maximize the opportunity against all of our competitors who are equally seeking to do the same. Now, I can't really do a talk today without talking a little bit about, obviously, COVID-19. It continues to be quite an unprecedented event in our lives, both personally and from a business context, and hugely disruptive. I mean, the personal loss, I think we all know people, friends or people that we worked with who have been taken by COVID-19. And it's an extraordinarily great loss and an extraordinary sadness to all of us. And the business obviously has been deeply impacted at its peak, with our mines closed, the cutting centers closed, and retailers all around the world closed. There's nothing that's ever happened in our lifetimes, or even looking back in history, I think that compares to the trauma that we've all had to go through. At the same time, I think it's a time we can be really proud of ourselves. All of us, I think, have made a contribution seeking ways to help our communities through this. For De Beers, it's really been an unprecedented event to support our employees, our communities, our partner governments, particularly in Southern Africa, where the mining activity is located, who don't really have the resources on their own to deal with something of this rarity in terms of the health impacts of COVID. And of course, safety comes first, must come first to all of us. It's our first and our overwhelming priority, the health of our people and our stakeholders. And let me give you just a few examples of some of the things that De Beers has been directly involved with over the past few months. Financially, we've committed both in funds and importantly in kind, nearly $5 million to support COVID-19 responses across our diamond producing countries of Botswana, Canada, Namibia, and South Africa. with our focus really going well beyond monetary donations to the procurement of medical supplies, logistical support, food security for vulnerable households, water and sanitation infrastructure, community COVID-19 awareness, so people can learn about how they go about social distancing, education materials, local support for local clinics, particularly again in our mining areas, and support even for social services where we've seen COVID impact on things like gender-based violence. It's been a tremendous response using not only the capabilities of the De Beers Group, but the larger Anglo-American corporation all over the world. And to ensure our support is really tailored to the specific needs of each community, that we're working closely with stakeholders locally in those communities. Everything from traditional medical environment to faith leaders and government agencies to understand those needs so well that we can direct our support in the right way. As I said, together with Anglo-American, we refocused our business to our host communities to support the response to the pandemic first and foremost, above all of our other priorities. Probably three key areas: help the communities get ready and prepare for the pandemic, support the emergency response, and be a partner in economic recovery when the time comes. It is really part of a long-standing commitment that we have to making sure that De Beers is a force for positive good in the local communities where we operate. And we're really proud of the efforts that we've made in that regard. At the same time, we had to take pretty much unprecedented steps to support our business and, most importantly, our customers, our site holders. As a result, we've, as you probably know, allowed for 100% flexibility in purchasing new rough diamond allocations from our site holders. We've altered the payment terms. We've offered relief options for our suppliers, providing free education courses to our partners to expand their diamond knowledge at a time when many stores around the world were closed. And we continue to look for alternative opportunities to provide work even for design partners, utilizing their times, their skills to create new artworks, new content for social media at a time when they simply haven't any other work and need to find ways to sustain their family. So it's been an extraordinary effort. Of course, it's not a one-way street. The diamond pipeline, literally from mining all the way to retail, is part of an ecosystem. And no one sector can act in a way that leads to, well, in effect, the terminal decline of another. We all have to recognize, be we producers, recovering and mining diamonds, be we in the cutting centers, be we manufacturers, making jewelry, should be retailers, that actually we all need to find a way to help each other come through this together. You know, if we are going to flourish as we exit the COVID environment, and be clear, we will exit this and we will flourish again. But to be in a position to do so, we need to make sure that each part of our chain, each part of the diamond pipeline is in a position to do so. And one is not hurt so much through this COVID period that it in some way impacts the ability of all of us to grow again and to tap all those opportunities that we're seeing out there as the word emerges from the COVID lockdown period into what we call this new normal. And there are really reasons for optimism. You know, Churchill reminded us that in every difficulty, there are signs that as we emerge, we can create opportunity for diamonds and we can benefit relative to other competitive luxury goods category. At De Beers, we've been conducting a lot of research through the COVID period to understand the way in which it's impacting on consumers' attitudes, their desires, and the way in which they intend to purchase in the future. And we're seeing a few things that are quite interesting. First of all, we are seeing consumers come back once they're out of lockdown And once they're comfortable going into stores, they're coming back to buying in our category. We've seen that in China, where the month of May was exceptionally strong for diamond jewelry sales in the mainland. And we're seeing that in the US as consumers return, firstly, I think, to independent jewelers, and we're seeing their sales figures for diamonds in June looking quite good. So consumers will come back as soon as they feel comfortable in doing so. But what our research showed us that was really interesting is that there's a few attitude changes that have happened. And I think it results from going through the lockdown period where you're locked down, usually with your close family. You're concerned, obviously, about their health. You're concerned about them. And you're having to work, again, as a unit to keep the whole family moving through lockdown. This creates this sort of personal connections. It reminds people of what's important to them in their lives. And that's generally the people that they love. And so we see from our research consumers shifting in their interest in what they want to buy in the months ahead when it comes to gift giving. And what do they talk about? They talk about buying things which are more meaningful or which convey meaning. So it's less about the pragmatic, it's less about the fashionable, it's more about those things which help them express what their loved ones mean to them. And when I think of that, I think of jewelry, and amongst all, I think of diamonds. There's a tremendous opportunity for us to try to tap that new emerging consumer need. They also talk about buying what they call fewer and better things. Now, this is probably part economic, but I think also part thinking about, in the COVID experience, the impact on the natural world. People seem to feel there's some connection between why we're experiencing COVID and the way in which humans interact and civilization interacts with the natural world. And in this way, I think this concept of fewer and better things, it's about don't buy things that are wasteful of the world's resources. Don't buy things that you throw out a year later or 2 years later, particularly in the fashion and luxury world. Think about those things which you buy and which you have forever. In effect, the ultimate sustainable product. And again, I can think of nothing better to tap that attitude than diamonds. A diamond is forever. You buy it, you keep it forever. Even after you're gone, your children will have it. We need to tap that mood as well. And thirdly, we heard about things with lasting value, intrinsic value. Those things are seen to be more meaningful and again, more consistent with the idea of fewer, better things. And to me, those things really sum up the diamond promise. It should give us real competitive opportunity against all the other categories that consumers were thinking about spending their money on as they emerge from COVID. But we do need to tap that. It won't happen by itself. And if there's one, I guess, area that I think amongst all gives us opportunity, it's that in most markets around the world, our number one competitor is usually travel. Particularly in the scheme of husband and wife experiencing things together, travel is the number one competitor. And travel is probably going to be the most displaced, disrupted activity for some time to come. And we're already hearing anecdotally about American retailers reopening, consumers saying, well, we couldn't go away for our anniversary, so instead I'm going to buy and upgrade these diamond ear studs. So yeah, it's an opportunity we can tap into if we're clever about how we engage with consumers. And that does give me reason for optimism, because I think we have the right product in an era where people are going to be thinking about products that are meaningful, important, lasting, and indeed, in effect, forever. The other thing I think we've seen through this period is what I call the rise of social purpose. I talked to you a little bit about this last year, but we've seen this trend now accelerate, I think because of the COVID experience, with brands all around the world seeking to identify how they can make a positive contribution to their communities, to the natural world, and that concept of social purpose, in effect, as the new status, the things that consumers, particularly young consumers, want to be associated with. That's a role for brands to play. This is going to grow, I think, and it was growing, we saw it before, but it's really going to accelerate now. And again, I think it comes back to this sense that COVID results from some sort of mismanagement of the human nature, human natural existence. So things like climate change, I think, have become more important. But it's this idea that we need to harness, and brands can do that very well, and De Beers brand in particular. The De Beers Building Forever program, those 4 pillars of building forever: protecting the natural world, partnering for thriving local communities, standing with women and girls, and leading ethical practices across our industry. Those 4 pillars give us a fantastic platform for capturing consumers' interest in this new idea of social purpose. I think we are literally ideally positioned to do just that. But we do appreciate for that to work really hard for you, our Forevermark partners. We, De Beers and Forevermark, need to build a much closer connection between our Forevermark brand and the greater De Beers group. And we are working, to be honest, all through the COVID period, extraordinarily hard on just this. And we'll have further announcements for all of our Forevermark partners later this year on how we will achieve it. But we believe it's absolutely essential that consumers understand that De Beers and our brand Forevermark are one and the same, and that when you buy a Forevermark diamond, you are indeed part of this powerful contribution, this positive impact that De Beers has on the communities from which it comes, and is part of our future commitment to being carbon neutral by 2030. And that is something that De Beers is going to commit to. We've got a fantastic program that will help us achieve, and I think it's going to make a difference. I think consumers are going to see why brands like Forevermark are part of what the future has to be about, and they'll want, when they're looking for a diamond, to be associated with that brand even more so than they are today. It's, to be honest, a really exciting part, I think, of our collective future. Again, sorry I can't tell you the whole story now, but before the end of the year, I'll be back to lay out for you how we're going to achieve that, which I think will further power the Forevermark brand as the #1 brand for diamonds in India today. Before I finish, I do want to say a word about India. Normally, I think if it weren't for COVID, I would be talking to you about how it's this extraordinarily strong growth through 2020. I know it's been a unique 2020, but it's still important to remember the trajectory we were on before COVID. And so let's just finish with a quick word on some of the data. It may seem like a lifetime ago now, but 2019 was really an outstanding year for the Forevermark brand in India. And despite all the difficulties that we had in the marketplace that we all know about, we grew nearly 30% in India in 2019. And more importantly, India became, in terms of the volume of Forevermark diamonds sold all over the world, the #1 market for Forevermark. 34% market share in 2019. That's extraordinarily exciting when we think what a short period of time we built that tremendous base for our business, now larger in volume than China, larger than the United States. It just shows that the Indian consumer in particular is on this path to associate themselves with the power of brands. And I think it reinforces our commitment to making sure for the Indian consumer that the Forevermark diamonds are indeed the most beautiful diamonds in the world. Because there's this desire to have what is the best here in India that we've tapped into with Forevermark. And when we add to that this building forever concept, this social purpose, I think we have an extraordinary, powerful mix of assets that the Indian consumer, both today, but importantly 5 years from now and 10 years from now, is really going to be interested in. And I just want to take this short moment to thank you, our partners in India, for making this the success that it is. We only work in a collective way. We only achieve these goals, these extraordinary performance through collective effort. Without you, we had no successful brand. So thank you again. So let me just conclude with a few thoughts to sum up what I've been talking about and what's been on my mind, really. It's been an unprecedented and extraordinary time. But through this period, we can see emerging opportunities for us to tap. We have a product with real meaning, which expresses the emotional bond between people, which has become more important because of COVID, not less. We have a product with real intrinsic value, with lasting and enduring value, which has become more important now as we emerge from COVID than it was before. We have a product that is timeless at a time when people are thinking about things that are really important, and they generally are those things that last. And diamonds, well, we've been around for thousands of years, we're going to be around for thousands of years more. And we have a product which has a strong social purpose at its heart that does enormous good in the world, largely in the developing world. And we should be proud of that, and we need to bake that into our product offer in perhaps a stronger way than we have historically. So said simply, I think there are real opportunities for natural diamonds. And I guess you should note those 4 points that I just ran through with you. A product with real meaning, which expresses emotional bond between people, a product with intrinsic and lasting value, a product that is timeless, a product with real social purpose, making a positive impact. Those are only true of natural diamonds. I'm afraid the synthetic version can claim none of those. Perhaps that's why we're seeing the prices of synthetic diamonds decline so rapidly over just 18 months' time. 50% down at wholesale. Some retailers in America are already selling the synthetics at 70% discount to a natural because they don't have that intrinsic value. And the prices will only continue to decline in that way for the synthetic version. But for the natural, and particularly for a brand like Forevermark that encompasses so well those things which make natural diamonds the most cherished and precious product, that make them the most beautiful diamonds in the world, well, for us, with the rise of things like social purpose, we think we are ideally positioned. We are at the cusp, not at the end of our journey, we're at the cusp of our journey here in India. And as we emerge from COVID and we look forward to the future, we should be extraordinarily confident that we have the product that people are going to seek out and desire, literally for decades to come. So I guess it leaves me to simply say, what's our task? Well, let's create that meaningful tomorrow that we know can be our collective future as Forevermark and Forevermark partners. Again, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your commitment, and thank you for participating in what is an extraordinarily unique Forevermark Forum this year. Look forward to talking to you and taking your questions soon. Thanks again.
Thank you, Stephen, for your insights and always being a support for the Indian market. Ms. Nancy Liu is the Chief Executive Officer of Forevermark and a member of the De Beers Group's Executive Committee. She has over 20 years of experience in the consumer and luxury industry, working with companies like LVMH and BCG. Nancy led the Far East operation of Forevermark before she took on as the CEO of Forevermark Global. It is my pleasure to welcome Nancy on our virtual platform.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and a great pleasure to speak to you today at our 9th annual Forevermark Forum and our very first Forevermark virtual forum here in India. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Nancy Liu, and I'm the CEO for Forevermark. On behalf of the Forevermark team, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for joining us here today and for your commitment and resilience during this challenging period. I would also like to thank the Forevermark team for creating such a stimulating and enriching platform, and echo Sachin's earlier words to encourage all of you to absorb as much information as you can. We all recognize that it has been an incredibly challenging start to the year. Today, we at Forevermark are responding to the unique challenges you are all facing right now, so that we can emerge from this crisis together as a stronger partnership. We have been drawing on the latest intelligence, our understanding of consumer needs, and our experiences. This has given us strong foundations to prepare for the reemergence of strong demand as lockdowns are eased and retail environments open up. During historic economic events, although diamond sales were reduced, diamond sales quickly recovered and returned to previous levels. In India in particular, we have seen phenomenal success over the past few years, and significantly, we can see a more positive view emerging and a return to fast growth here in India in 2021. This crisis is forcing people to re-examine what is most important in their lives, and our reports show that this also includes the items they purchase. With people staying at home, we've seen a rise in e-commerce in all sectors. Satya will speak to you shortly about our exciting e-commerce program. We are encouraged to see that the intention to purchase diamonds remains a high priority for the Indian consumers compared to other luxury items, especially during key selling periods. This further solidifies the Indian consumer's love for diamonds remains very, very strong. The diamonds are intrinsically woven into the very fabric of this vibrant country and the traditions, rituals, and daily lives of the people who live here. It is for this reason that we see India as a key strategic growth market for Forevermark. And I would like to reiterate Stephen's words at last year's forum, that it is our ambition to make India the #1 market for Forevermark. We want to ensure that consumers identify our diamonds not just with love, but with positivity, joy, and growth at a time when we need it most. We want to strengthen the significance of Forevermark as a symbol, an expression of emotion that lasts forever for the people who gift and wear our diamonds. Our collections and campaigns, such as the ones being presented to you today, will target and prompt dialogue with a modern, conscious, and confident consumer. The theme for this year's forum is Meaningful Tomorrows, and this is of significance to Forevermark. We believe our diamonds are a spark that ignites something within you, a canvas on which we define our stories, and why we choose only the most beautiful diamonds to inspire meaning in the lives they touch. A Forevermark diamond is more than a symbol of love, durable to stand the test of time, energizing resilience that drives us forward. It is a reminder of what we together can achieve. We want our diamonds to spark more beauty and meaning in the world. And as a brand that is built around forever, we strive to preserve and protect the future of our Earth's boundless beauty. We are committed to creating a better forever by the choices we make today. Together, we will create more meaningful tomorrows. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy, and thanks for bringing out the perspective of what sparking meaningful tomorrow for us really means. Now, let's deep dive in what's lying ahead of us. I urge you all to consider this time invested to experience this platform as how consumers would like to see your platforms and step into their shoes and try visualizing your brand and your retail with their eyes. See the impact of technology, which will get us as real as it can get. When we were in the midst of the pandemic impact, we had two options. One, not to conduct the forum this year as we were all going through a restricted movement. And the second, to do it well, to do it inspiring and acknowledging that we all need to get together as an industry and that need has never been more important. And what you will experience here is just a reflection of what all we can achieve and bring realism to technology connected to our industry. In the Forevermark zone, which has always been very inspiring, this time we have some really cool retail technology which will break the boundaries of what we can do. And I wish that as an industry, we are not just followers, but leaders and making this futuristic consumer-facing technology a reality. Cutting-edge retail technologies like Outernets and Site are on display. Please experience them. We have our new campaigns, our new products, and great consumer insight, which will be on display. All of it and the works will be there. We welcome you to experience the One De Beers area, which has all the excellent zones which are not there just to inspire you, but allow conversations with subject experts like digital, sustainability, innovation, and various others. Our senior members from the industry services, site holder sales, auction sales, all of them will be there to share their outlook and deep insights. The manufacturer booths take you to a completely seamless engagement and experience their products and their strengths at this platform. You can have detailed discussions through this platform. And my friends, use this as a kickoff of a really new world from the eyes of your consumers and make the most. Friends, now it's time for a poll. The options will appear on your screen. Please choose your option and then click submit.
Let's take a quick break here to take a poll. As mentioned, please minimize the screen and answer the poll question by clicking on the poll icon. You can resume watching the keynote once again by clicking on the expand icon.
Wow, that's interesting results. 2019 for us has been an action-packed year. We executed 12 months of media campaigns and delivered over 400 million digital impressions. We had over 110 consumer events and reached directly to about 2 lakh consumers directly into your stores. Our PR outreach delivered over 30 billion PR impressions. With great executions come great delivery. Today, we have a retail presence in over 275 doors in about 60 cities in India, working closely with over 90 retail partners. We ended 2019 as our best year yet, with over 2.5 lakh diamonds and approximately 60,000 carats inscribed. 2020 has been an unprecedented year for all of us, almost like a black swan event. Yes, the numbers have been challenging. And yes, we are all fighting this out. But I would urge you all to think long-term about our business. From the perspective of De Beers, we believe that the Indian current share of the global diamond consumption will get only into double digits, which means it will multiply twice in the coming years and will be the growth engine for the diamond world globally. This growth, however, will not be equally distributed. A lot of us will shape the future and grow stronger. Some of us will perish. So my friends, here is our chance to shape a future and shape a more meaningful tomorrow. Now let me take you through the journey of a Forevermark diamond and what makes them so special. When a consumer looks at a diamond on a finger, it sparks a beautiful memory and a feeling of grace, feeling of timelessness. We at Forevermark value this and go beyond all these aspects, and we want them to feel truly proud of what the diamond has done. It is a complete authentication of a journey of these miracles right from the mine all the way to the consumer's finger. And giving her the confidence that these diamonds are beautiful, they're rare, and they're responsibly sourced. So to sum up, there are 3 key aspects that you have to look at. First and foremost is authenticity. These are 100% natural diamonds, non-treated, exactly the way Mother Earth has given it. The concept of trust is evolving, my friends, and you need to be giving a tangible answer to your consumers. Second aspect is that these are beautiful, beyond the 4 C's, and they come with an absolute best selection in diamonds that don't earn a Forevermark inscription unless they pass the strict criteria of selectivity. And we select them based on beauty, and our partners know and are aware that there is absolutely no filter and negotiation around it. And lastly, and most importantly, the responsibility and 100% guarantee that to the consumer and to get the assurance that these diamonds have done something good to the wider world. And most of all, this comes with a summary of a De Beers partnership. One, we are at the forefront of the diamond business. But when you partner with us, you're partnering with a non-negotiable business process, which in the world today holds a lot of value. Our best practice principles are highest standards in the industry. We are future focused to be ready to deal with this new age consumer through modern retail, technology, designs, and most importantly, our only interest is to grow your diamond business, and hence your partner who pushes you to do better, pushes you to grow the business. Now let us hear about the story of the Forevermark and the precious gift of Mother Nature.
Deep within the earth, formed over 3 billion years ago, rare, natural, rough diamonds. This is where Forevermark starts. No hidden alterations or treatments. Crafted by the world's finest diamantaires. Rigorously examined and hand-selected. Less than 1% of the world's diamonds are eligible for the Forevermark inscription. Forevermark diamonds, a precious gift of nature. Forevermark, a diamond is forever.
The pandemic COVID is such a seismic change that has made all our 5-year projections, 2-year plans, all of them redundant. But personally, I'm happy to say that this lockdown period enabled us to dig deeper and go back to the drawing board and build new pivots and strategies. We at De Beers worked with multiple research agencies and consultancies during this lockdown period to understand the attitudes and sentiments of the Indian consumer. We realized that the actions that we take today will make a huge impact tomorrow. I would like to take this opportunity to showcase our research findings on the Indian consumer sentiment, which gives us a clear direction on the way forward. Now let's pick up some key insights of the research findings.
As COVID-19 progresses and social distancing becomes the norm, Forevermark interviewed several potential customers across the country to understand the effects of the pandemic on their will to buy diamonds in 2020. Here is what we found. This may be a period of economic turmoil, but Indians have a forward-thinking, resilient mindset. Our consumers' love for diamonds and their will to buy them remains very strong, surpassing all other global markets. Those who have bought diamonds in recent years were especially interested in buying diamonds for themselves, showing the huge potential for repeat purchases. This interest was also seen in the younger, mid-affluent self-purchasers and young professionals with a growth mindset, for whom life only adapted, never stopped. For them, growth and a positive mindset are greater needs than the fear of a pandemic and economic turmoil. While worldwide there has been a sharp drop in the interest in diamond rings, Indian consumers remain strongly committed to buying diamonds. Since the buying and giving of diamonds remains an intrinsic part of the fabric of our culture, Indians prioritize these purchases over all other luxury items, especially during and after the festive season. As online sales have picked up during this period, it was seen that consumers gravitated towards well-known jewelry brands. Maintaining a positive online footprint that focuses on the themes of family and tradition while still giving the feeling of luxury and excitement is paramount. As the country gradually reopens, retailers now face a new challenge: getting consumers out of their homes and back into stores. Our store experiences must evolve to make our consumers feel safe. We are in turbulent times. But it is important to remember, diamonds are part of the fabric and ritual of Indian life. It is important that we are available to consumers. Interest in buying diamonds is higher among repeat purchasers. Focus on them. Consumers still have a growth mindset. This is what makes India one of the fastest growing economies. We need to ensure that people identify diamonds with love, positivity and joy at a time when we need it most.
So my friends, the big takeaway from the research is that the Indian consumer's love for diamonds remains very strong. Their intention to acquire diamonds and jewelry through the selling periods like Diwali remains very high. Luxury is good and remains on the top of consumers' minds. Younger, hard-working consumers' interest to acquire diamonds have only gone up and are acquiring jewelry for everyday wear. In the world of constant change and disposability, diamonds offer the permanence of hope. And armed with these consumer insights, we went back to the drawing board and almost redrew our strategy across the value chain. I'm going to now deep dive into the new product development, consumer communication, and of course the great in-store consumer experiences that we have let out. Now let's talk about all these aspects in greater detail. We are living in a hyper-connected world where consumers are already very well informed about trends and brands, and they walk into our stores asking what's new, what's fresh, what's trending. As a retail player, we must be on top of that game, and product development plays a big part of that scheme of things. In a post-COVID world, the core product offering must have a deeper meaning and connections to the end consumer. Our most important product idea for the upcoming year is the Forevermark Icon Collection. The Icon Collection is a new design from Forevermark inspired by the new definition and vision of a modern woman. One who's confident, one who's determined, but who doesn't want to give up the modern sophistication and romantic elegance. The collection ranges from a classic and iconic engagement ring line to a fashion range inspired by clean and modern lines. Let's look at this collection more up close and personal. Now that's not all. The next big idea which will drive volume is the Forevermark Tribute Collection, created with the intention that each diamond within every stackable ring symbolizes the wearer's unique qualities, characteristics, and achievements. The Tribute Collection celebrates the multifaceted nature of women. In the world of constant change and disposability, diamonds offer the permanence of hope. Seasons change, a diamond is forever. Presenting the Forevermark Tribute Collection. Over the last 6 years, we've been working closely with our Design and Innovation Center in Milan on the Forevermark Trend Collections. These trend collections are put together keeping great insights in the world of fashion, culture, and modern influences. These are directional in nature on designs, motives, color palettes to ensure you're in line with the global trends. We have worked a lot on these projects with our key partners and seen some great success over the years in the trend collections. Across 4 inspiring trends, These essential concepts are translated into a rich array of design solutions at the very heart of beautiful, rare, and responsible sourced Forevermark diamonds. Showcasing to you the 2020 Forevermark Trend Collection. Wow, what a collection. I would like you to get inspired. Work with your design team. Start small, maybe just 10%, but do have a modern offering for your modern consumer. The team is here from Milan and will be at the One De Beers area to engage with you and build your collection on the trends. Now let's get into the campaigns. We are working closely with our media agency partners, our creative agencies, and have closely studied the COVID shakeup that has happened in our lives to design our upcoming campaign and media plan. We are taking into consideration the change in consumer behavior post-COVID as evinced by our research, and we are ensuring that people identify diamonds with love, with positivity, with joy, and with growth, because in these times, they need it the most. Our campaigns have been created keeping this thought in mind. The Icon Collection brings out the joy and sorrows experienced in real-life situations. The Tribute Collection celebrating the resilience of women for the success she achieves. We will amplify these across the board with the focus on digital and, of course, utilize the key traditional and mass media. Digital, as you all know, is becoming more and more important and reflects in our campaign planning approach. Television, newspapers, OOH, radio, virtual consumer events, PR outreach, and influencer collaborations remain the mainstay of a campaign. And this is not all. We also work on co-op campaigns, co-branded with your logos and the Forevermark logos, customized and specific to your consumer needs so that you can reach out sharply to your consumers. At De Beers, we believe in the physicality of your business. Your retail is of paramount importance to us. Our competition, my friends, is with the overall retail and the branded world. All elements that impact and instill this impulse, the storytelling are important. Things like display, music, lighting are all important. Our shop-in-shops have made a large impact on your stores, and today I'm very happy to share that we have over 200 exclusive shop-in-shops, and a big heartfelt thanks to all our partners who have entrusted us with your most precious retail space. The key is that our shop-in-shops today have an average stock turn of 2.2, which is clearly the best results that we can get with the focus of the consumers. Let me now take you to a virtual tour of our newly opened exclusive Forevermark boutique in New Delhi. Whilst a lot of your doors address the needs of a wider audience, The Forevermark store is positioned at the younger, brand-conscious couple who like to get into details, are discerning and willing to express. It's a simple business collaboration idea, and we are giving you a ready tool to engage with millennials and have a learning of engaging in a different atmosphere of a truly brand-conscious consumer. We now have 10 exclusive Forevermark boutiques in India, and we will be having a network of 15 by end of 2020. We don't rest on our laurels. One of the most important projects underway is what we call the next generation retail. This will be good to launch by end of 2020. We have been doing a lot of consumer research to understand how to improvise our offering. This will revolutionize the way diamonds are sold and how we connect in a modern way of storytelling with the modern age consumer. The same is on display at our virtual Forevermark zone, which is absolutely stunning offering, combining state-of-the-art technology, luxury, and the highest levels of contemporary storytelling on diamonds, but most of all will attract best retail locations and will be profitable from day one. I urge you to please go to the section and have a look at it. We are also working on an omni-channel model where we will leverage our partnership in a completely seamless e-commerce opportunity, some things that we will now pilot with some partners and go live by the end of the year. So moving from only physical and only digital to a combined phygital presence. Now it's time for our second poll. Like last time, the options will appear on your screen. Please choose your option and then click submit.
Let's take a quick break here to take a poll. As mentioned, please minimize the screen and answer the poll question by clicking on the poll icon. You can resume watching the keynote once again by clicking on the expand icon.
Wow, yet again, these are very interesting results. Let's talk about training. Consumer experience at the store is of paramount importance to us. We give a lot of emphasis in training our sales ambassadors, right from city trainings to individual store trainings. And last year, my friends, we trained over 9,000 sales ambassadors just in a year itself. In the Loop is our monthly newsletter, which helps us stay connected with your teams of the floor. It includes our latest campaigns, the famous Ask Lena section, and a whole reference on our shining stars. Our focus is not only on the sales ambassadors, but also the management and the partners, and just open up the minds of the leadership of our industry. And hence we had the opportunity this time. During the lockdown period, we initiated over 10 programs for our partners and senior management and conducted over 400 sessions with all of you. On a separate section, we conducted daily sessions for our sales ambassadors and engaged with over 45,000 people during this entire lockdown period, almost on a daily, everyday basis. FMX India is live now. This is an online tool that we have launched, which will bring the whole B2B world of Forevermark more and more closer. Every diamond inscribed and ready jewelry with any manufacturer shall be available just a click away. FMX is a strong tool and a strong attempt from us to bring in the supply closer to demand. Please pick up your access details from the retail team for registration and take the maximum advantage of it. You can now download this on your mobile phones as an app, both on Android and iOS. Easy access, right utilization of technology, and getting our world of supplier more closer and more accessible. This year as well, we are launching a retailer incentive for the festive season. This will be offered for a short window, starting now, only for the forum period. This is meant to boost your sell-through. We are making a bet, and you should do it too, as well on the consumer demand that's already there. The mediums can be digital, outdoor, newsprint, or any other way that you like. Please check your mail and WhatsApp as we speak right now. The details are there, and the retail team will be happy to share any input that you might need and close it off. Please make the most of this scheme. I would like to thank our participating manufacturers and diamanters. They have been a pillar of strength. Over the years, we have worked with them closely, and their contribution, openness, warmth, and support is unparalleled. Knowledge Series has been an integral part of our forum every year. Every year, we get some great thinkers and achievers who share their experiences, the challenges they overcame, and inspire us to do better. Going back 10 years, I had the great opportunity to personally start conversations with each one of you. We have come a long way on knowing how we can add value to your business, and we are right beside you. Today, my heart swells with pride when I see my partners who are strong ambassadors to the consumer and explain benefits of Forevermark much better than I do. We are a dynamic team with over 400 years of overall experience, spread across 100 companies, speaking more than 20 languages, spanning 10 countries across 4 continents, all working towards one common purpose, and that is to build a meaningful tomorrow. We would like you to maximize on this partnership. Challenge us, stir up, brainstorm with us. We are all your extended team. The team that you see up there is committed to grow your business. My dear friends, I'd like to conclude with a thought. If mankind had stopped in its tracks after every global pandemic, war, plague, or any other global disaster, would we all be privy to this wonderful world that has only gotten better and progressed with each and every calamity? With every challenge like this pandemic, one always has 2 options. To get overburdened by the circumstances and the pressure, stall all activities, stall all buying, all planning, and all future growth, or grab the bull by its horns and steer it in the direction you want. The next 4 months are crucial for us to claim our place in the sun and make that big difference. If we do this well, 10 years from now, when we shall look back, our actions in these next 4 months will determine where we stand then. So go for it, my friends, and take these winds of changes head on. We all at De Beers wish you happiness, joy, and hope that you and your loved ones stay well. From the bottom of my heart, a big thank you to all of you to grace this platform.
We will now begin the Q&A session with the speakers. Minimize the full screen and drop in your questions by clicking on the Q&A icon, and our speakers will address them.